Welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be covering a tool master build in Assassin's Creed Shadows. We'll be raining down a ton of kunai, dealing so much damage. I'm only level 19, so this is a fairly early game build. We're halfway through Act 2 and have a knowledge rank of 3, so this build has the potential to get way more deadly. So let's get into it, starting with our weapons and armour. Starting with our headgear, I'm using a Toolmaster mask which has the perk Shuriken no longer break on hard impact, which is always good. Importantly, I've engraved the +1 health segment removed on assassinations with kunai. This is needed for tougher enemies with more health segments. There's a mastery to remove an additional segment, but we're only at knowledge rank 3, so that isn't unlocked yet. To get this engraving, you need to assassinate 120 enemies as Naue, so it's pretty easy to get. Another good option is the +24 damage with tools, which is sold by a merchant in Kyoto. Moving on to the armour, I have the Tools Master gear which has the perk of Throne a Kunai after an assassination. For some extra survivability on this build, I've added the engraving that restores 20% health after using a tool. As we'll be using a lot of tools, we can heal up very quickly if we take damage. This is also sold by a merchant in Kyoto. Next we have the key item and engravings for this build, the legendary trinket Tatsu's Triumph, which has the amazing perk of +2% tool damage per mastery point in tools. You'll see in a little bit why this is so powerful and works amazing with this build. I've added the 50% chance to refill a tool on a kill, which is incredible. Every time we kill an enemy, we have a 50% chance to refill our kunai. I'll be throwing a lot of them, so this will be very overpowered. This trinket is found really close to the Agora peak in Yamashiro in a legendary chest, and the engraving is held by a clan in Yamashiro, specifically the Osuki clan. When you continue with Act 2, you'll take out loads of enemies in this area of Kyoto, and one of them should drop this engraving. Next we have our weapons, which aren't super important for this build as we'll be mainly using kunai, as long as they're epic or above in quality, so you can add engravings. That's the main thing. I've added a 20% armor piston engraving, which should help, and added 10% damage engraving to the secondary weapon. There are loads of different options for the weapon engravings. On to our masteries. Let's start with the Tools Mastery. Unsurprisingly, we have the Tools Mastery maxed out. As I mentioned earlier, we're up to knowledge rank 3, so this build can get way more overpowered as our knowledge rank increases. We also have 4 out of 8 in Tools Passive, which you'll also get if you put the same Tools Mastery points as shown. This gives us a +4% to refill tools, so we have a 54% chance to refill our kunai after a kill. Importantly, we have the Kunai Assassination Damage 1 mastered, so we have +2 segments removed with our headgear engraving included. Also, we have the Tool Professional fully maxed out, which gives us a +18% damage when using tools. So right now we have 29 mastery points in the Tools Mastery, so with our trinket perk of +2% per mastery point in tools, we have an additional 58% damage when using tools. With the 18% from the Tool Professional Mastery, that's +76% damage when using tools, which makes the kunai damage even more lethal. If you're finding this video helpful, please like and subscribe, it really helps the channel. Thank you. So let's get into some gameplay. So from this first kill, we didn't get a kunai from the actual kill, we've picked it up from his body there, but here we'll take this guard out and that kunai came there. So we actually refill one of our kunais there, so we've got 2 from that second kill. Here we'll take out a fair few more. Again, a lot of health segments there, one-shotted him very easily. We're currently on the normal difficulty, we're not on expert. Here we're just one-shotting everybody and not needing to go into combat yet. So you see on the right side of the screen, we're getting lots of kunais being refreshed. On average, for every 2 guys we kill, we should get a kunai back. Of course, that doesn't always happen. Sometimes you do run out and you have to go into close combat, but I'll show that later. We do miss this one on the Samurai Daisho there, but take out this other guard. Of course, with the Samurai Daisho, they're some of the tougher enemies in the game. They have lots of health segments and a lot of heavy armor. You'll see here with the first hit, we take out 3 health segments. If we were knowledge rank 4, he would be dead, but it only takes a couple more hits and it completely gets rid of his armor. Here we're in some close combat, and I'll showcase here how much we can take out of their armor. One of these hits takes out their armor completely and half of their health. We're surrounded here, so close combat's inevitable, so of course we'll have to use our katana, but you'll see even from a normal kill we have a 50% chance to get a kunai back, so it's not just from a tools kill. We'll also see here how important that healing engraving is, so we'll take a few hits and every time we use a tool we'll regenerate 20% of our health. So you see there, 20% health. It doesn't have to be a kill, just has to hit them, so we could use loads of shuriken really quickly to heal up, so it has great survivability. In this video we've mainly been using kunai and that's what's been refilling, but this also works for smoke bombs, which is always good. However, I didn't see this working with shuriken refilling on kill or the other tools. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe for more.